Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the New York Rangers and Edmonton Oilers game that occurred on Saturday, October 12th. And going into it, we're going to talk about some pre-game notes that I had. It was certain that with the Vlad Nemestikov trade that someone was going to insert into the lineup. All of us thought it was going to come through an AHL call-up in Filipino, but apparently not, as Craig McKegg is just going to slot into the fourth line, and that's what happened. And Lundqvist started. He hasn't played in 9 days since his opening night start against Winnipeg, and also the Rangers haven't played since last Saturday, so it was also a key point that perhaps they would come in and be a little like on the slow side, or to shake off a lot of rust. So that was also a talking point coming in. And some stats here that it was evident that the Oilers have no offensive depth, and that was talked about, where only you had to stop their one top line and maybe a couple players scattered around their whole lineup. And also, it was of note that Mika Zibanejad was the first player to get 8 points in his first 2 games since Jaromir Jagr in 95-96, when he was, of course, playing for the Pittsburgh Penguins at that time. And also, it was the second time in New York Ranger history, and the last guy who got 8 points in 2 games was Hall of Famer and Rangers all-time points leader Rod Gilbert in 1976-77. And also Mika got the first NHL Star of the Week. That was very good. And not only is he helping out on the ice, he is very good off the ice, as he's an advocate for women's ice hockey and is donating towards it, and his face-offs have been a major improvement on the hockey side of it. And also coming into it, there's a lot of hype around Kakko, and his jersey sold out at the Garden. So a Rangers fan ordered it online, and actually Kaapo Kakko delivered the jersey to him, and they showed that, and that was a very nice thing and a very kind gesture. And also, it was also noted that Trouba now leads all Ranger defensemen in ice time, and he creates shots on power plays, and that's why you have to get in front and tip it in or cause a rebound goal. And also of note is that James Neal came into the game having 7 goals in his last 4 games, which matches his whole total from last year, from when he scored 7 all year for the Calgary Flames. So of course he came over in the Milan Lucic James Neal swap. And also a fun fact that I didn't know about, Mark Stoll has been the alternate captain for 10 years, dating back to the 2010-11 season, so that was a cool thing. And of course, Lundqvist moved up to 450 wins. He is 6 all-time and 4 away from tying Curtis Joseph, and he leads all active goalies in W's right now. And also coming into it, Connor McDavid has tied with Patrick Laine for the league lead in points in only 4 games, and Leon Draisaitl, the other guy on the top line, has 8 points in 4 games. And an interesting point that Steve Valiquette said was that Leon Draisaitl is the best finisher in the NHL analytics-wise. He has a 23% shooting percentage on high scoring chance shots, and it obviously helps that Connor McDavid gets him those high percentage attempts. And also there was a thing that David Quinn and a lot of the New York Rangers staff has been stating, that the Vlad Nemestikov trade gives Brendan Lemieux more ice time, and that he's moving from the 4th line up to the 3rd line. So a lot of pre-game notes. So let's get into it. During the first period, there was an early chance for Mika when he outskated Connor McDavid for a good shot and saved by Mike Smith, who was starting for Edmonton, who has really got off to a slow start. And quickly, James Neal took it off of his own penalty on Brendan Lemieux, slashing him, and the Rangers couldn't capitalize. But then soon Kreider hit the post in front on the power play, and then Chris Russell hooked a player, and it went on to 5-on-3 for 40 seconds. And then the Rangers had so many chances, a lot of puck movement, but some key Oiler blocks, and they were able to kill it off. And Mike Smith made a lot of nice saves. And a big chance for actually the new guy into the lineup, Craig McKegg, passes to Elias, and it's a blocked pass, and it rolls over to Brendan Smith, who was playing on that fourth line forward spot, and he hit the crossbars. So two key chances when the Rangers could have went up 2-0 in the first period. And also a thing of note is that Oilers forward Jujhar Khaira folded on Chris Kreider's leg, and he limped off and went to the locker room. And also, later on in that first period, Kaapo Kakko scored his first goal in the NHL with a nice lead pass in the offensive zone by Brian Strome. He was able to move past the defense, and he went in on Mike Smith and did a forehand backhand goal and scored. So that's Kakko's first NHL goal. He looked so excited. He was so happy. It's great for him. So at the end of the first period, it was 1-0 for the Rangers, and the total shots were Edmonton 8 and Rangers 7. So going into the second, there was a very quick power play to start it off when Zach Kassian interfered with Lundqvist. And also of note that Kreider came in and seemed fine after that little injury scare. And Rangers weren't able to capitalize on the power play. That's going to be a common theme. Lundqvist also made a big-time save on Alex Chiasson on a 2-on-1 tap-in opportunity. Lundqvist came diving across and saved it, and Alex Chiasson actually said something to Lundqvist and tapped him on the pad, saying wow, I can't believe you got that one, or do it again, hopefully. And it was evident now that Edmonton was playing a really clamped down style defensively, and it forced the Rangers into a lot of icings, and they iced it at least probably 2 or 3 times with the same offensive line out there, and it led to a goal for the Oilers when ryannugent-hopkins got the face-off, draw a win, and Clefbaum just put a wrist shot on, and it had eyes, and it went through a layer of players. Lundqvist didn't even see it, and he scored, tying it up. And then another note during this period is that the Rangers allowed a lot of odd man opportunities, but then they were able to clean that up a little bit after. But a really good defensive play by Artemi Panarin when he did a stick lift on a 2-on-0 for the Oilers. He caught up to Leon Draisaitl and lifted his stick, and he stopped that opportunity. And going on, it was becoming evident that the Oilers' new structure under new coach Dave Tippett was showing up. They had a much better defense than I've ever seen out of the Edmonton Oilers, ever really, because I wasn't around when they were that high-flying team that got all those cups, so I never saw that. But they really showed they were a complete different team. They were buying into the defense. They were kind of stopping the Rangers in the neutral zone, forcing them to dump it in, and they're making plays on players all the time. They actually had a really nice game. And then Howden took a late interference penalty in the second. It looked kind of like an incidental play when both players crashed into each other, but it was called a penalty on Howden. And the Oilers weren't able to capitalize. There's a big diving glove save when a shot got through and James Neal was out front screening all by himself. He wasn't covered, and he let a backhand shot go. Lundqvist was already prone, and he made a nice diving glove save on it, and they were able to kill off that penalty. And going at the end of the second period, it was 13 shots for Edmonton, 12 for the Rangers. And now into the third period, Lundqvist started off with 2 huge saves on Leon Draisaitl, and Draisaitl came in, did a backhand shot, and was able to get his own rebound, and Lundqvist saved all of them. And then shortly after that, defenseman Matt Benning let a shot go from the point, and it got through and it hit the post, so that came close. But then Connor McDavid tripped up Mika, and the Rangers went on to go on a power play in the mid-third period that they weren't able to capitalize again, and they were 0 for 4 on the power play in this game. They looked good, they just couldn't score any goals. It seemed like they were cycling around making nice plays, they just couldn't end it off. And then as soon as Connor McDavid got out of the penalty box, Brendan Lemieux interfered with him, and now the Oilers got on the power play right after that. And it kind of looked like a harmless play. The Rangers were killing it off rather nicely, but Connor McDavid let an attempted cross-crease pass go through that was intended for James Neal, and it deflected off Trouba and scored so Connor McDavid put the Oilers in front now, 2-1, and that was halfway through the third period. But Lundqvist kept it close with a nice 2-on-1 save from Zach Kassian, with an amazing feed from Connor McDavid, so it was still 2-1. But then again, it was showing that Edmonton was playing a very like a neutral zone trap style to preserve their lead. And then soon after that, a big chance from Fox when he was behind the net. He sent a nice soft pass out to Brady Shea, who slapped the one-timer off of it. And Elias got to the rebound. He had a chance right out front, but he couldn't bury it. And Mike Smith actually had a very nice game tonight, or this afternoon, sorry, and he played very well. And then after that, it seemed kind of like a harmless play when Leon Draisaitl threw a puck at the net, and it trickled through Lundqvist's 5-hole. It seemed like he had it, but the referee didn't blow the whistle, and it went through. And now it was 3-1 to Edmonton, and assisted by McDavid. So the top line finally came through after the Rangers shut them down for almost the whole entire game, but they capitalized when they needed it most, and then came through and helped the Oilers eventually win. Draisaitl made a good play on D when the Rangers had the extra attacker out, and he was able to get the puck, skate around Trouba, and make a nice move around him, and he got the empty net goal. So overall, it was a 4-1 loss for the Rangers, and they were outshot by the Oilers. Another note is that the Oilers are the first team to be 5-0 after trailing in each of their games, and they had a perfect penalty kill tonight, while the Rangers' power play, on the other hand, didn't come through. And Rangers failed on offense. Edmonton was amazing on defense. And the Rangers couldn't hold Connor McDavid and Draisaitl the whole game. They broke through finally. But kind of a tough game. They were a little snake-bitten all night. They could have scored more goals, but it just didn't happen. It just wasn't their game. Just chances weren't going in. I wonder if it was a fact that they were off for so long. But now they're off for another 4 days again until they play the New Jersey Devils. It's going to be an nationally televised game on NBC SN, and that's on Thursday night at 7. And they also play again on Friday against the Capitals, so they play it back-to-back. So I'm thinking Georgiev will probably see action against the Devils, and Lundqvist will start against the Capitals. So looking forward to that. This is the Rangers' first loss. They fall to 2-1, but they haven't played a lot of games yet.